pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. Pit stop. It's a pit stop. And we are, well, I don't even want to do this, Brooke, because it means if I start this episode, then it means we have come to the end of Amazing Race 15. So let me just muster up some strength. And we are back with our Amazing Race summer rewatch of Amazing Race season 15. And we have come to episode 11, the season finale. And when I tell you my anxiety, this episode was up, down, left, right. I'm screaming, Brian! I'm screaming, Shane!
Brice!
I'm not even saying too much of Sam and Dan, but I'm like, what is going on? But we are back. I'm so excited to be joined by my ever so gracious, smart, earthquake feeling co-host, the winner of Amazing Race season 29, Miss Brooke Camhi. Before even Brooke starts, I just have to say, Brooke, again, I love these summer rewatches, and thank you so much for doing the time that you do to pick these seasons, because we watched season 5 last summer, season 15. I wasn't sure what it was going to give. I'm like, how can this compare to season 5? But baby, season 15 delivered.
So I'm normally very sad when we get to the last episode, but honestly, we've got like 30 more seasons you haven't seen to watch. So this is cool. There'll be another, but we went back and forth about 15 and a couple others and which one should we watch. And I remember loving 15, but honestly, I didn't remember a few things. And I was like, this is even better than I thought. So I am so excited because it is easily one of the most overlooked seasons. There are so many iconic moments and things that just pop back into your memory. And the finale. All right. So here we go. Previously on this season of The Amazing Race, 11 teams. One team got left in a ditch in Los Angeles, set off on a race around the world. And along the way, passports were lost and hearts were broken. R.I.P. Zev and Justin. Fears were not at all faced. Goodbye, Micah. Like rolly bags were pulled around and super unfair detours caused a filimination. Don't fight me on it. R.I.P. Tiffany and Maria. Brian was yelled 1,237 times by Erica. One snowman was karate kicked down by Lance. Candelabras went unfound, but at least the new sauna bus idea was thought up for Minnesota. I'm wondering if that ever happened. And a 5-letter word puzzle could not be deciphered, even when you knew the first letter. So a penalty was taken. R.I.P. Flight Time and Big Easy. So here we are, left with the final 3 teams, one of which is about to take home a cool $1 million, because at this point we have said goodbye to Erica and Lisa, Garrett and Jessica, Marcy and Ron, Zev and Justin, Lance and Carrie, Micah and Kanan, Maria and Tiffany, Gary and Matt, and Flight Time and Big Easy. So we are left with Brian and Erica, who are looking to show the world and her mother specifically that they are a great pair who can win it all. We have Sam and Dan, who honestly would have been exactly like my brother and I had we done this. But I think they were hilarious to watch. And Meghan and Shane, who rarely fought, who were insanely competitive, and who were the most winningest, I think winningest is a word, team from season 15 with 7 first place finishes. And side note, one of the most winning teams in Amazing Race history, even more than Ricky and Caesar. So, yeah. Anyway, we have special guests today, and I could not be more excited. We do. They're waiting to come. I just broke my thing. They're waiting to come on. I am so excited to speak with them and so excited for you to get to meet them. Please welcome the winners of season 15 of The Amazing Race, Meghan and Shane.
Hi,
what's
guys.
up? What's up?
That was so fun.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
intro. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh my God, I can't believe.
Welcome to the Purple Pants Pit Stop. How are you two doing today? It feels so surreal to just have been screaming at my TV and now you are on the podcast. How are you two doing?
We're great. Thanks for making us feel young again. So we're excited to relive it. It's been a long time. We're old now.
They're younger than I am. They're fully younger than I am. It's fine.
But I mean, we raced when we were 23 years old, and I'm turning 40 next month. You know what I mean? That's like a whole new lifetime.
Yes.
It really is. But y'all, I mean, if that's what 20 years looks like, y'all look good. I mean, Meghan, you look amazing. Shane, I see the hair slicked back. Y'all look great.
Thanks for you. I'll
And
take it though.
honestly, the 40s are just the 30s with more respect, and the 30s are just the 20s with more money. So it just gets better and better as it goes on. So
She's getting better with age. We're doing great. Thanks for this.
Before we get to the episode, because you guys are the winner of season 15, maybe you could help Brooke and I settle a debate. And also, I just want y'all to know, as we were watching this season from episode 1 through episode 11, I had said over and over and over repeatedly that Meghan and Shane are my winner picks. So I just want y'all to know that.
She wants these. You have picked every person. Although I will say on the side, he did say your names more than anybody else. And I just had to keep my hands in front of my face because I did not want to spoil it. And I don't think I did. I think you were genuinely surprised at the last episode, right, Brice?
I was shocked. Like I didn't know who it was going to be. And I was happy that it was you two. But let's get to settling this debate. Meghan and Shane, in your own words.
Yeah.
Oh
Could you please describe to me, as I come from the Survivor realm, not the Amazing Race realm, what's your definition of a filimination?
It's filimination. Like you still can't say. Okay, it's fine. I can't believe
Filimination. Filimination.
One extra L. I told you. Right. When Phil, I would describe it. Meghan may think differently, but I would describe it when he comes out to the location and eliminates that team on the spot.
Okay.
So follow-up question. Were Maria and Tiffany filiminated?
But also follow-up question before the follow-up question.
Okay.
Do you need to be actively engaging in the task? If you quit, is that considered a filimination?
I'll let my wife answer.
I'm going to say yes, because if you quit, you still don't, you can't just walk away. Like Phil has to come out and he has to eliminate you. But I will say one side thing is, when I feel like when we were on the show, if anyone got eliminated at the mat or anything, we called it a filimination. And maybe that's just old school, but like I thought we just made it up. I don't know. We just said it all the time. I mean, I don't know. So I think is it new age that he goes out and eliminates something that's elimination? Like, where did you get that, Brooke? When do you guys start saying it?
Okay, well, we clearly Brice and I disagree, but everyone who has come on the podcast has agreed that when Phil comes out to you on the course, it's filimination. And I don't want, Brice, we have the winners. Like, I don't want to waste all the time talking about the thing that clearly they agree that I am right. So it is what it is. Let's just put it to bed. And there's more important things to talk about, don't you think? I'm right. The end. Amazing. Thank you, guys. For the best.
Maria leaving was very sad. So it's a big moment. It's a big moment on the show, and it is debatable. And that was a really tough challenge. So we can get into that later. But I get it. Yeah, I guess
it's not even doable.
Yeah. Maria, that moment was big. Yeah.
Absolutely. It was sad to see them go, and especially it's sad to see the iconic Rolly book bags.
I'm listening. I just listened to all of you guys' podcasts. You guys are hilarious. I was dying. It was amazing.
And I popped in every now and then. She's our podcaster, but I definitely popped in. You guys are great.
It was so fun.
But the Rolly backpack thing, she kept bringing up to me, like, Shane, because we talked about it from day one when they showed up. I'm like, that's kind of genius, kind of ridiculous. Like, equally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they all say, like, Maria will be like, I would rather roll my backpack than carry it. So but I mean, you're going over cobblestone and whatever. I think it'd be terrible. So I actually I texted them and I'm like, they're hating on you for your rolly backpack. And they're like, I love our rolly backpacks. You're brilliant. I'm like,
I almost brought a rolly backpack. So I'm not hating on anybody. I think it's smart, but it is a little ridiculous, but because you need your hands for stuff. So it takes away your hands, but also way easier on your back. So I'm not against it.
Tiffany running all the time with both
two of them.
Yeah.
Not that she wasn't doing her part, but Tiffany was doing a lot.
She did a lot.
My partner carried my backpack. I can deal. That's fine. Okay, so should we talk a little about the finale and then go into your thoughts on everything, or how do you want to? Where should we? let's do that. And then I'm sure we'll get completely off topic and off course, and it'll be a mess, but a beautiful one. Okay, so let's relive your glory day back in Vegas in 2000 and I'm assuming 8 when you filmed it. So the 3 teams are in Prague. We have Meghan and Shane, who leave at 11:10 in the morning. Sam and Dan are almost an hour later, and Brian and Erica are 3 hours after that. And you guys are told that you need to fly to Vegas and go to the Graceland Wedding Chapel to find Elvis for your next clue. How did you two feel starting the last leg? Like, you've won so many. Did you think you had it in the bag? Were there really any nerves, or this was old hat to you at this point?
I felt like, you're so much more comfortable when you're ahead, and we felt ahead a lot of the time. So this, all being on an even playing field, we were kind of like, okay, this is really racing because anybody can win. We just didn't have that cushy comfort of being in the front. So the nerves definitely were kicking in at the end there. And I still it was 16 years ago, but I still remember it like just being in the cab and the feeling and everything. It was kind of intense.
Yeah, flying to Vegas was like an adrenaline rush the entire flight, and we hadn't listened to a lot of music the whole race. And the song "Tonight's Gonna Be a Good Night" by Black Eyed Peas came on, and we had never heard it. And that song came on. I'm sure the plane played it on purpose as Virgin Airlines was landing in Vegas. And I said to Meghan, it's going to be a really good night for somebody. And the song was sick. And we ended up hearing that in the club later that night, in the middle of the night after winning. So
right after
that song is like iconic for us. And that was the moment coming into the race. Like we were obviously nervous and pumped up the whole flight, but landing and that song coming on kind of just, we were confident in that moment, like we were most of the race. And but that was.
Did you guys all go out to a club after you won in Vegas?
I don't know if they did that, but since we were in Vegas, the production came in afterwards and they're like, we're in Vegas. Nobody knows who you guys are yet.
And big groups go out all the time. So you couldn't go out in the middle of nowhere and that kind of group, but they're like, let's go out. So.
And we had Tiffany and Maria who were, Vegas people. And so they're like, we're going to a club. I think they helped set it up. And so we all went to the club and we were at the club and Shane and I were like, we just won $1 million. This is crazy. We just stopped racing. And then that Black Eyed Peas song came on.
And we just crying on the dance floor around all these people. And we're like,
good time.
When the flight landed in Vegas, we hear Big Easy and Flight Time talk about all the time that they could beat a lot of these teams in a foot race. It's going to come down to a foot race. When you landed, seeing Sam and Dan and Brian and Erica, how confident were you if it came down to a foot race that y'all could take it?
At that time, that we weren't worried about it. I enjoyed racing Flight Time and Big Easy, and I think I beat both of them in the foot race. Not that Meghan was right behind. That's all good. I gotta remember that. So I was able to beat them. And didn't. Physically and athletically, it was never really a consideration of that being what it would come down to. That was kind of rarely the fact. And if it did come down to that, we had no concerns, but that rarely is what determines the race. So that carried us a lot through the whole thing, but we never thought that would be the factor at the end.
I have a question. You guys won so many legs, and I happened to write down.
Oh yeah, we did.
Did you? Just out of curiosity, if I tell you the prize, tell me if you took the trip, if you gifted the trip, if you didn't, or not the trip, some of these other things. So you won a trip to Aspen and Vail. Did you use it?
Well, that's the only thing. Yeah, that's the only trip we used. Yeah.
Personally.
So yes. Jamaica.
We gave it to a friend for their honeymoon.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're the best friends ever. You guys won personal watercrafts.
Oh, I rode those all over the ocean in San Diego.
We took those out all the time.
All the time. And so we had kids and we're like, okay, the kids don't really fit into the jet ski plan.
They took up all of our storage space in our garage. We had a trailer and 2 jet skis. We loved them. They were awesome, but we sold them like a handful of years ago.
Yeah.
How about your red cedar sauna?
Woo,
we had 2. So we got 2 saunas. We're like, okay. So we sold one of them immediately, and we built the other one. And in our last house, we had it, and we miss it all the time. It was so nice.
Yeah.
Oh my! You got 2. That's amazing.
Wow.
A trip to Lanai, Hawaii.
We gave that to my brother for his honeymoon.
Oh my God! I wish I knew you back then. I was on a honeymoon too. A pair of 52-inch LCD TVs.
We still have one that the kids pull out to like play the dance mat and like the Wii on because they throw the Wii through it. Like fuck it, So
that's amazing.
Is it heavy?
It's heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the heaviest TV that's around
It's
still.
like back then we're like 255-inch TVs. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one hung on our house, in our old house, and I think we left it there. But yeah, so.
And then the last one was obviously the $1 million, which I'm pretty sure you didn't give anybody for their 100. But that's incredible. You guys won so many things. I think only one other team in race history has won more legs in a single season than you both did. So you really dominated. Rachel and Dave, I think, from season, I want to say 20, they won 8 legs, and you guys came up with 7. A couple of the teams have won 7. Let me see. I did write it down. You guys won 7. Nick and Star from season, I want to say 13.
13.
Won 7. And Justin and Diana from season 27 won 7. And then some of us only won 2, but that's fine.
The only one that matters is the last one. We couldn't have used any of the prizes if we hadn't have won the last leg. We were, 23, just finished college, early careers, like literally couldn't have afforded.
Paying all the taxes on those things is crazy.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Did you, what was the biggest thing you bought with the $1 million?
A house.
Mm-hmm. We put most of it into our first house, which was.
We bought a house before we were married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Did you
Mine
play
was
the Black
house.
Eyed Peas song at your wedding?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was
On loop, just repeatedly.
every day for every day for the next year. We just play it in the car, Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
I feel like if it came on now, it would just everybody would well up. It's like
Yeah.
a song that has real meaning.
Yeah, I just looked outside and I still have my old Range Rover that we actually bought. Right when we won, we bought it. It was
Bought that.
used Range Rover, but that was my baby. It still was my first baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
we were winning, so it was fun.
That's great. So you guys are off to Vegas. You guys go to a travel agent. You get on a 6:40 p.m. flight. Everybody basically gets on the same flight. I don't care about talking about this. And Brian and Eric are still mad at Sam and Dan because they ganked their taxi in a previous leg. But it seems like the beef is squashed pretty quickly. The part that I found interesting is that when you guys were at the airport, it seemed that you and Sam and Dan didn't know who the third team was going to be who showed up. Now, we usually knew because we sort of sat at a pit stop waiting for the other teams to show up there. But on your second to last one, you really didn't know who was coming to the airport?
No, we were sitting at the airport and we're like, it's gotta be the Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Right. And so sure enough, when we saw Brian and Erica, we were like, what happened? Because they were so far behind.
Did anybody know? Did you find out what happened about the penalty or not until the race was over?
I don't know if they shared that. I don't know if they shared it.
I think Brian told us, but we didn't know how wild it was until we watched it.
Yeah.
And so we called.
He couldn't have even known probably how.
For years, we called Big Easy Franz. We just called him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he loved that. Side note, though, you were in and out of that task in like 20 minutes because you didn't have that much of a lead and you were gone before the next team showed up. And he had the first letter. So then the 4-hour penalty, maybe it was way harder than I am giving it credit for.
I don't know. I just don't. I'm not quite sure what happened. Like I still, to this day, I'm like, what? Why? What happened? I don't know. Poor guy. Like I don't know.
And he got to come back and do it again, and I feel like he's doing fine, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Okay, so everyone's on the same flight. Did you guys have one backpack, 2 backpacks with you during the race, and did you check any of your bags for that last flight?
Yeah, so we ran with 2 for the majority of the time and kind of shed stuff as we went. We felt like we don't need this much stuff. After running around San Diego with a heavy backpack for a couple of weeks, we just kept getting rid of stuff before the show. And then when we were running, we just kind of discard items as we could.
The last one we checked it.
And the last leg, we basically just put everything into one backpack that we didn't need, which was 90% of the stuff, and just finished the leg with 10% of the stuff.
Did you do that too?
One bag.
Did you do that too?
Yeah, I was not checking a bag, mostly because I didn't carry my bag that much. I had back surgery 6 months before the race. So like my partner carried my bag a lot.
Yeah.
And I said at the gate, I was like, we're checking our bags. And he's like, what happens if something happens to my bag? I go, we're going to win $1 million. Check your bag or don't check yours. I'm checking mine. I don't care. So we waited for the last second. We let the other teams get on the plane first. And then I had written on my backpack, like a little note saying, if this is left at the airport, here's my information. Please don't throw it out. And so we gate checked our bags and then got off the plane, and the other teams were like, "You left your bags on the plane." And I was like, "No, we didn't. Our bags are gone." So they were they I don't know how they didn't think of it, but I did notice that on your season, all 3 teams looked to be carrying either something little or just one. So everyone had some good forethought.
So when you check your bag, you just leave the airport and you figure you'll just go back at some point to get it, or okay.
Yeah, we just went back to San Diego airport a couple of days later. I think we just popped back to the airport. We just was sitting there in one of those weird rooms, waiting for us.
Ours was mine went into Chicago, which checked to Chicago, and then the Thai Airlines or whatever it was, the office was closed when we were flying home to New York, and so I couldn't get my bag back. I actually just had a plastic bag that they gave me, and then I had to call the airlines, and they put the bag on a plane, and I just drove to LaGuardia and grabbed it off of a baggage claim.
That's so interesting. I don't think like the average Amazing Race fan would know that. So you don't technically have to carry a bag. If you left your bag somewhere, you could just go with whatever you have on.
Passport. That's all you need.
Has there ever been
a team with no backpack?
Or just like that left their backpack mid-season and just said, F it, like...
I believe we've seen some at the starting line with like one backpack. Where like, Meghan, do they just have one bag and maybe like a male-female couple that maybe just rolled with one bag the whole time, which I think is a cool move. I think it frees you up a lot. Physically it'd be nice. And I think the lighter you can pack, the better. And nowadays, I think it's easier to do so, but yeah.
There were a couple of seasons in the middle where if you came in last and it was a non-elimination, the punishment was they take everything but the clothes on your back and your passport. And so there were teams there was one team, I think it was, I want to say season 7. I don't know. They thought they were going to be last. And so they just put on like a lot of what they owned and ran to the finish line. And they were in like bathing suits and hats. And they were like, let's do it. They weren't last, so it didn't matter.
They took my hair wax and like the second plane flight, it was too large for like the second plane flight.
That's why his hair is like this the whole time.
And so I sprayed like the whole entire bottle into my head for like that moment, and it lasted, so it worked out. And water just beating on me like a duck, and it worked out great for the trip.
Where is that company at now? We need a brand deal, Shane.
It was Paul Mitchell, and he called me and he thanked me in his wonderfully beautiful accent. And
it's like, this is John Paul DeJoria. I'm calling you because you're on the Bonnie Hunt show or whatever that was, and Shane then told this story, and then
I said the Paul Mitchell hair wax was the best shit ever. It just lasted me a month.
And they sent him a lifetime supply of it.
They sent me like a big box of product. It was awesome. So yes,
that's your 8th leg win right there. A lifetime supply of Paul Mitchell hair wax.
Look at
my God!
Ahead of his time, a whole influencer before even people were influencers. Look at Shane.
I guess everyone on the Bonnie Hunt show. It's amazing. She's got real pull. Okay, so let's see. So we get to the wedding chapel. There's this couple dancing, and Elvis is singing. And Sam says congratulations to this couple that's clearly actors that have never met each other, which I think is so funny. And this part is so cute. All of the teams put their arms around each other, and they start singing Amazing Grace together. And then Elvis goes to give out a clue. And Meghan, to your credit, you were like, thank you, this one is mine. And Sam and Dan are like, no, it's ours. I really thought there was going to be a fist fight in this moment, but I like the fact that you were assertive and you're like, this first one is mine. And I thought Sam and Dan were going to have a little bit of a, I don't know, attitude about it.
That's the weird dynamic of the race, especially in the finale. Like, you're friends with people and it's fun, but at the same, like, just like Survivor, you're friends with people, but at the same time, you're like, I remember we were all kind of arms around each other singing, and I was so uncomfortable because I'm like, oh, let's just go. What are we doing?
Yeah. When's the song over? How many stanzas are in the song? Like, it needs to end. So then sorry, what?
Meghan had a hard time with that, separating like the friendship and the competition. I think she struggled with that with a lot of the teams.
Because I liked everybody. It's hard.
It's interesting because we see that dynamic throughout the season where Shane is like, we ain't saving no taxis. Let's go. And Meghan like, Shane, what is you doing? And so it was interesting because I feel like when we would see somewhat of discourse between you guys, then at the next episode, you would like start fresh. And so I was always curious, like, Meghan, when you would get back to that hotel room, would you be letting Shane know, like, yo, you need to get this together? Because it seemed like at the start of the next episode, Shane would be like, you'd be like, we talked. And Shane would be like, you're right. Okay, I gotta work on this.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that we just we just did a pretty good job of working together, and like we were really like a team. We're like, there's no reason to fight, and anytime we saw it around us, we're like, there's no reason to do that. It hurts your game. So I feel like we were always on the same page. It just worked out for us.
Fight. I did not have that same out. My partner and I nearly killed each other every leg. So next time around, don't fight. It makes it more fun. Got it. I will say, however, you're talking about Meghan just being friends with the other team. Because when they're in that taxi, Meghan's like, do not tell them where we're supposed to go. Don't call a second taxi. Don't actually do what you said you're going to do. Firecrackery. So this is not just like kumbaya on the part of Meghan. You were full of strategy, and I really loved it because I would have been the exact same way. Drive away and say we're going to call another taxi, and then don't actually call another taxi, and don't tell anybody where we're going. So
yeah, it was really competitive season, even though we loved everyone. I mean, Erica, she is so competitive. You saw that. I mean, but everyone was. The Globetrotters. I mean, maybe not Marcy and Ron. They were there to just like have a good time, and
Jessica and Garrett were extremely competitive. They were furious when they lost. They thought they were going to win before it even started.
They told us that. They're like, we thought we were going to win. We should have won.
Like, okay,
we should have won. Okay.
They were actually like, first impressions. We thought they were going to be a good team. I think they just got like a tough break, but that would have been interesting. They would have been a tough team. Zev and Justin, I just love them so much. But they're freaking competitors too, both of them. Like they did it with ease, and you didn't see any stress, but they're amazing. They're a great team. They were, obviously they lost their passports, but they were always a team that we were a little bit like, all right, this is the team to watch out for a lot.
They thought ahead. They were strategic.
Yeah.
And friendly throughout it. They were really cool about embracing the culture and being kind of.
I've gotten to meet both of them, and they are lovely human beings, like just genuinely warm, kind, wonderful people. And it's cool to meet people from like seasons way back, just it wasn't at an Amazing Race thing. It was at a charity thing for a friend of mine, and they just happened to both be there and know my friend from college, unrelated. And we just had this moment of camaraderie. It was awesome.
Funniest people I've ever met.
Hilarious.
I said, Zev, you should be a stand-up comedian. He goes, I prefer to sit down. I'm like, love you. We met up with him in LA like a long time ago, and he was driving a car, and I was like, okay, he's driving a car. He was like low riding, like
actually, we were in Los Angeles too, just
down, like just bumpy music. Yeah. And I was like, huh. And he was backing out of a spot. I'm not kidding.
You're gonna get him in trouble.
I know, so long ago. He would just back up, bump a car, bump a car, back up, bump a car. I'm like, Zev, like, what are you doing? He's hilarious.
He's really funny.
But he left a note and everything was fine. Okay, see, it's all good. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so everything's good. Nobody was damaged and there was no property damage. Okay, so all three cab drivers that you guys have all seem to be just out of their mind nuts. Everyone's willing to break the law. Everyone is willing to just go any which way direction. But Brian and Erica's taxi goes a different way than the others. And they arrive to, Mandalay Bay, which is where you're going first. And it says, who is ready to climb down the mountain? And you have to face first rappel down the outside of I want to do this so badly. The outside of Mandalay Bay for your clue. And like, this is a Brooke task. Like, my partner was scared of heights. Shane, to watch you do this was so joyful because you obviously didn't see you do it because your eyes were closed the entire time.
Oh, yes, exactly.
What were you thinking? How are you feeling? Did you guys talk and say when it's heights, it's going to be you? Or was this one you because it had to be? How did this decision come about?
We both are definitely afraid of heights. So I just took one for the team because I was down, even though I was terrified. So yes, my way to get over the hump, literally and figuratively, was to close my eyes to get over the edge. And they talked me through it. Yeah, so that got me over the hump to like get down because I couldn't have looked down and went. I could have, but it made it easier. And didn't look easy.
Thankfully, you didn't have to like find anything. It wasn't like you go over the side and search for something.
He was dangling. He was like a wet noodle, like dangling down where Sam and Dan were like, or Sam was running down.
Sam was killing me.
Sam was into it.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't need to be pretty. It doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to get done.
I got to the bottom and I couldn't breathe. I realized I don't even know if I had taken a breath or two the whole entire time. And so I was
The harness was set up so you're supposed to go with your head down and your feet up, and that's how it was set up. But he was too afraid, so he went head up and feet down, and so the harness was cutting off his like breathing. He couldn't breathe, so he got down and he was like purple. Yep. He's like, I think my harness was on wrong. Like, no, I think you were doing it the wrong way. Yeah.
Thank God they didn't make you go back up and do it again and be like, you weren't face first, do it again. Oh my God.
But that was crazy though, because when you think rappel, you think going back. I'm like, that's not. I'm like, what is go face forward?
It said face first.
Thank you. Somebody who cares.
Yes, I had to pause and like Google rappel.
Makes fun of me for it. I'm like, what the fuck? You go do it. Good for you, Brooke. Go for it. I'm sure you can.
I would sign up tomorrow. I can't do so many things. I am aware of my shortcomings, but anything heights, like I'll jump out of a plane, I'll jump off a bridge. I love it. I am so into it. Mainly because honestly, once you're over, you can't stop now. I mean, it's done. It's not like you can chicken out. Like once you're out of that airplane, what are you going to do other than enjoy it, I guess, right? Or pee yourself. I don't know. Maybe both. Okay, so Brian does this. He's scared of heights, but says today he is fearless. Erica does it because Brian is scared of. Yeah, sorry, my bad. She's over the edge. She's doing great. Shane, you're headed up, and doing it with your eyes clearly helped because you did a great job. And then Sam gets up there and just runs down the side of the building. So Erica finishes first, and they are told they have to go to the one Mirage in this desert. And Erica starts talking. This is the only number one they need. And they really, at this point, look like they might be the ones to beat. So Shane, you're down in second. The two of you have the super supportive moment at the bottom where it's, I love you, babe, and I love you, babe. And it's so nauseatingly cute, but I like it. And then Sam flies down, makes up a lot of time, and you're all on your way to the Mirage. Did you guys let your taxi go at Mandalay? Hi, dog. At Mandalay Bay and have to find a new one? Because it looked like Sam and Dan kept their same guy through the entire leg.
I think we tried, but it left. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at that moment it tried. Yeah, we tried to have them stay and they just didn't because it took so long. There was a moment when we picked a different cab because the guy didn't know where he was going. But I think that was the end. Yeah.
So you all get to the Mirage and you have to join the cast of Cirque du Soleil's Love, which also... Is this heights that are no good or is this like a fun? Okay, cool. So you guys have to join Cirque du Soleil.
Bungee, we're good. Just like, yeah.
Climbing face first down a building.
Different story.
I get it. One's like 20 feet up in the air and one is 600 feet. And yeah, okay, fine. Fair enough. So Meghan gets all harnessed up along with Erica and along with Dan. And I don't know how you guys did this, but so quickly grabbed the entire bouquet of flowers. Now, Erica and Brian were in first place, but for whatever reason, they decided to switch spots and she's going to be able to pull him down to get the bouquet. I don't know. What, Brice, thoughts? I don't know about that.
I just, again, want to say this challenge I'm newer to Amazing Race, and this absolutely 1,000% would have been a challenge for Anthony and Bailey.
Oh my God.
Anthony and Bailey would have been able to kill this. And I love to see like the older seasons where Anthony and Bailey, they switched detours or tasks like 4 times. And to see Brian and Erica switch are just homage to Anthony and Bailey. Do you guys think that coming in second place to the Mirage was helpful? Because I feel like you two were watching Brian and Erica as you were getting harnessed up to kind of see like, okay, she's not going that far this way. Let's go this way. But also, Shane, when you was running up to the brick and Meghan was like, baby, you got to let go. Like, I'm not going to propel this way. Hilarious.
No, I think that's a really good point. I think watching them not do it incorrectly a couple times, I realized that it wasn't on the release that you're supposed to catch it. It was really on the down and then jump up. So I was seeing that she was going up closer to it the second time, but they weren't noticing that, probably because you get stuck in the moment, right? So yeah, maybe that did allow us to see it, take a moment and evaluate it.
I think Erica was thinking that she wasn't long enough. Like Brian was going to be longer,
but
right?
It wasn't about that.
Right. And we
you
saw those
can't launch
volleyball
him.
skills, Megan. Okay, because when you was reaching for, I said that looks like a volleyball player right there. You was eating it up.
That was fun.
When you guys got the bouquet in first, this must have a little bit felt like the beginning of the end for like you had it, because your roadblock was done. You've now done this. Like, will there even be a detour? Like, the day's getting away. You've done a number of tasks. And then we have this moment that happens. You guys leave first and you are told, oh my God, did I even write it down? I don't know if I wrote it down. The clue about where to go to the Monte Carlo, but is it the Monte Carlo? Is it the Venetian? Is it somewhere else? So this, honestly, I did not remember how many lead changes there were. There was a time where every team was in first place during this episode.
Yes.
And in watching the episode and knowing how much time was left on the episode, because I was streaming it, I was like, wait a second, they do win, right? Because there was a moment where I thought, oh my God, stop traveling to different hotels, make a phone call or steal somebody's phone. Were there people in 2009? Were there like a lot of people with smartphones? Because you have grabbed a phone and Googled?
No, there's nobody. You ask a cab driver thinking they were the most knowledgeable person ever, like even call someone else they might not know. They're driving around Vegas all the time. So it was find the hotel that's most famous in Monaco, I believe. And that didn't come to us right away. We threw out Monte Carlo, Venetian, but once you start throwing out those ideas, they all sound like they could be the spot.
We're just dumb. I studied abroad. I should have known that. Like,
we should have, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I think it's one of those moments, just like the Franz moment, where you're in it so much, even running all day, you're tired, your brain, like physically, you're hungry. So it's like those firing moments don't just happen naturally. So we were going to rely on the cab driver. And so I think the first person.
And they told you Venetian. The cab driver said the Venetian. And I was like,
exactly.
No cab driver.
Oh, cab driver's going to know better than us. But then when we got to the Venetian, we were able to ask the concierge in person, because we couldn't cell phone in person, like, what is it? They're like, it's Monte Carlo. So it wasn't the worst solution to end up at like a near hotel.
The traffic was horrible. Like that was the stressful part. Yeah. Once we were at one place and we went to the wrong place, we were freaking out.
And there's no smartphones and ways to get you there.
Right.
Cab driver's knowledge of the city.
Plus, all these hotels are like, if people haven't been to Vegas, like on the strip, like it is one road and it is congested, and like walking is usually faster than taking a car. But the Venetian, like Mandalay Bay, is all the way at one end of the strip, because that's usually where I stay when I go to Vegas. Because shout out to Mandalay Bay, very reasonably priced, but also really nice hotel. Anyway, great pool, unimportant.
When like, you were at the Venetian at the concierge, did y'all have to wait in that line, or did you just go to the front? Because that's where my brain was thinking, like, it's a line.
When you're on the race, you just constantly are cutting people, you know?
Main character, you're like, you guys are not important. Yeah,
but I think when you have
you don't have a camera crew,
non-players, right?
This is 2009. You know, we're doing big things. It's not like a cell phone, like stick everyone's got in Vegas, and, like, running through the whole place, like filming you and your friends who are doing nothing cool. But still, you know,
You're like, we were actually cool. We had a real camera crew. We weren't like, Instagram cool. We were cool. Okay. Sorry, Maggie. What were you saying?
I don't remember. It's all good.
we cut the line. We didn't stop. We did brightly with over.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
I apologize. Okay, so at this point, Dan has gotten the flowers. Brian and Eric have swapped spots again, and it's heartbreaking to watch. And so you guys and Sam and Dan were going to the wrong place, but they call Mandalay Bay and are told the right answer. So Erica then gets the flowers and everyone ends up at the Monte Carlo, but you guys end up there third. So, and it really did look like, I don't know if this is editing because editing is real, but it really did look like Sam and Dan had like a $400,000 lead when you guys arrived at the Monte Carlo. So talk us through a little bit of what you're feeling as you're seeing their piles and you get there and knowing that this is really probably about as close to the end as it's going to be. What's going through your heads, and how did you do that task so quickly?
Okay, so I'll let Shane talk about this, but just one thing is in this season, there had never been a female winner before. So to me, like I remember thinking this is set up for Tiffany and Maria. So if they got to this point, like this is their challenge, because honestly, if Tiffany and Maria were there, they would have just like killed it. But I also knew that Shane had been playing poker forever, since before he was even legal to play poker. He would go down to the casinos with a shirt. What would your shirt say?
We had a barely legal poker club, and so when we were like 16 and 17, we would wear shirts that said barely legal, so the casinos wouldn't ask for our ID. So we'd
Right.
play poker in the casinos. And
Barely not.
reservations here in San Diego, I won't name which one, but so we would play poker. So I was 23. I'd been playing poker for 6 or 7 years, like not as a significant hobby, almost weekly, maybe a couple times a week. So when we got to that chip stacking, and I think in the entire race, and I think that this is what separated Meghan and I, to be honest, and people ask all the time, was that we were always focused on us. Everybody else was worried about us the whole race. What are Meghan and Shane doing? And I never gave a shit about what anybody else was doing unless it benefited us to work with them. So it was really about what is our task, zone them out, and like seeing the table, I got into a zone where it was just nothing else mattered. And I knew that I could just make chip stacks even and know how much was on the table within a minute or two. And they were counting as they went. And I knew, again, maybe from showing up second, that they were doing it wrong. Wow. And that I could just, and so I was, give me all the black chips, give me all the red chips, give me all the blue chips. And I just made my 20 stacks. And so I mean,
that's what did it, right? That's the thing that did it. Because if you do 25 chips in a stack, they're all thousands. There's your 25,000. 4 of those, 100, move on. You just need to make the stacks even. They're going to be the same amount every time. And to watch Sam and Dan and Brian and Erica be like, okay, 20,000, 10, 10, 10. And to count, like, what a significant waste of time. And I think that's really, because once you had this moment, there was no looking, but there was like one more stop and it was over. So and the fact that they both got it wrong.
The chips, like my job was, we started with, he told me a color to start with, the biggest denomination, and my only job was just as fast as I could give him all those chips.
Mm-hmm. And you were moving.
She was moving. She was so fast.
Are you guys video game kids? Because I feel like the hand-eye coordination of like pulling those chips out of those piles was
it's
fast.
The chip stacking. When you play poker, you just move chips around. I used to deal poker to my friends, so it was making stacks and pass. I mean, when you play with chips, Tiffany and Maria would have been twice as fast as me. Mm-hmm. Like I was at a certain level, they would have been twice as fast because they play with chips every day. I played with chips 2 or 3 days a week, and they played with them 7 days a week. So they would have, if they would have showed up within 30 minutes of anybody, they would have won the challenge. So I think it just, you have different skill sets. So no, I never play video games. It was baseball, but. So
you had an iconic line making. He was like, Shane, if we do this real fast, this could really be our $1 million. And I'm like, okay, they gotta win for them to edit or to have that line in there. I was like, come on, Meghan, let's go.
I remember being in my head, I was thinking like, just be a robot and move your hands as fast as you can. And I still remember that feeling.
And she's like, it could be real money.
Yeah.
It felt real. Yeah.
And then you get this ridiculous looking humongous chip. I would have tried to keep it because it's actually really cool. Like a cool little souvenir. Do you have it?
I don't remember. We have random stuff, but maybe we have it.
We have just a little.
You still have the check that's this large. It's like 2.5.
Did you get a check? Did you get a check like that? You didn't?
No. I mean, I got a check. I got a regular check, and they don't take taxes out. So I got a regular check for $500,000, which I'm not complaining about. But my big check moment was, I went to the bank and like I went to Chase, and you know how when you go to the bank, they're like, "Can we help you? What do you need?" And they're like all up in your face. And I very quietly was like, "I need to deposit this check, please." And they looked at me and they're like, "Whoa. Okay." And so they took me in the back and we took out like 20 grand and we just started throwing money around. And then like the head of the bank came back there and my guy was like, "We're in trouble." And she's like, "Do you want me to video this?" And I was like, "Yeah."
That's awesome.
But no, we didn't. They don't do big checks anymore. I would have loved to have us like a.
We took our big check into the bank. We're like, "Can you deposit this?"
No, you didn't.
Yeah, no, we did.
That's amazing.
What did they say?
She had the real one on deck, but
something smaller. Yeah.
They're like, "Who are these people that made a big cardboard check? Like, that's not real. We can't do that." Okay. So you guys finished first. Everybody else is incorrect because they don't know how to count. And you're told to find Suite 88 at the MGM Grand. And Mr. Las Vegas will be there to give you your next clue. Did you know it was Wayne Newton? Because Sam and Dan very much did not.
Yeah, I mean, we had been to Vegas like a handful of times. So Sam and Dan hadn't. So I felt like, I don't know. I don't really remember really thinking about it, but we were like, "Oh, it's Wayne Newton."
Yeah.
So.
And then Shane's like, "That's all you're telling us? Find your house. Where's your house?" And he's like,
Yeah.
Figure it out.
He was so crazy looking in person. That was wild.
That was a trip, and I felt bad now, retrospectively in the race. Yes, there he is, Meghan.
Yeah,
it's exactly interesting.
But I've never seen like his face was like so like porcelain. It was interesting.
Yeah, and his chest was so unreal large, like he was wearing a barrel around his chest. It was wild. I don't know, it just looked like
a fake man.
Yeah, in a good way.
Yeah.
But we're so in the race moment, and you can understand this is just like we sprinted out of there like, thanks later, bro. Like, and the cameramen were like, that was Mr. Wayne. How could you be so disrespectful? And he literally was like chastising me like I was like in trouble. And I was kind of annoyed. I don't remember what cameraman it was, but
we had a moment of our last episode. So Ernie and Cindy, who won season 19, were in Chicago and handed us a clue. I've seen every episode. I'm a super duper fan, and I didn't even register in that moment. And as we were running out down the stairs after they'd given us the clue, our camera guy was like, "Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Oh my god, that's Ernie and Cindy. We gotta go." And Scott's like, "We're not going back. Like, say hello." And I was like, "You're right. Keep moving. But sorry." And I was like, "You guys are great." Like I was yelling, but I'm sure they didn't hear me. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
At Wrigley Field. So cool. But I feel like Wayne, it's okay. Like at least you knew who he was, because then Sam and Dan show up and we're like, what?
Right. Yeah. We were nice to him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he understands. Race mode is
right. It's $1 million on the line. I'll see you later.
And then he was there back at the club. He was at his house, obviously, because he lives there. But he was there after and was really kind. It was cool.
I love that you guys got to all hang out after. Okay, so Dan and Sam finished the counting. Brian and Erica are wrong again, unfortunately. And so you guys find Wayne Newton, and then Dan and Sam find him but don't know who he is. And the cab drivers seem to know exactly where he lives. I guess this Shenandoah Ranch is a very well-known landmark. And we see a cab turn into the ranch, but they're trying to make it look suspenseful. And then you guys come running down, and Phil says, 8 countries, 25,000 miles, 21 days. What? I will never forget this moment. I can imagine it is still burned into your brains. Can you tell everyone about what you were feeling as you turned the corner and saw that there was no other team standing there, and that you had actually the moment you knew you won?
Yeah.
Well, that sums it up.
Yeah. It makes me tear up every single season at this point, just because it's just that iconic winning moment. But I think we didn't fully know, even though we've seen it a million times, we didn't fully know that we were the first team, even though there wasn't anyone else.
Megan's always skeptical. She's like, what did we do wrong? And I'm like, no,
I think someone's hiding. Are we sure? Until Phil says it, I didn't think it was real either, right?
Celebrate year second or something. So I just think, you didn't know. And then also, we didn't know where anyone else was at that time. And we found a cab driver that said he didn't know where he was going. And then we changed cabs, and we asked a new guy, and he's like, yeah, I used to do tours there. I used to do tours at Wayne Newton's house. We're like, let's go. But he drove us to the entrance that was the normal entrance, but there's multiple entrances around the property. So we were really confident this guy knew where he was going. But then when we got out, and he was like, I don't know which entrance it is. There's a lot of entrances.
There was a 10-minute gap in between the entrances, so there was a chance that someone could have gotten
Yeah, so we were we just kind of freaked out. But obviously when we crossed the finish line, that moment, I had seen every episode of The Amazing Race leading up to it. When it's actually you that's running down and all the teams are there, it's just it's just crazy to actually be the person that's doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Meghan and her mom used to watch The Amazing Race, when she was a kid, and me and my grandma would watch it every Sunday, because it used to be on Sunday nights when I was a kid growing up, and she lived with us. When we started dating, our first date, we talked about TV shows, and we're like, oh, Amazing Race. And we had known each other for 10, 15 years. When we started dating, made that connection and decided, let's apply. And so we applied for 3 years in a row and got closer and closer. And so this third year, and we made it, and then we actually did the race and did well, and then won. It was almost, it was very surreal. And it was wow.
Do you know how much you won by? How far behind were Sam and Dan?
It was about 10 minutes, maybe. We chilled for a little bit. It was, which felt, we hung out for about 10 minutes, so they re-prepped us for Sam and Dan to come. So they knew that there was time. but it wasn't a ton of time. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
Brice, I know I took over. Thoughts?
No, it was just that 10 minutes with you saying going to the different gates of 10 minutes, like that is crazy stressful. And then when you got there and you turned to Phil, you're like, is this real, bro? Like, that's so crazy. What was it like seeing the other teams, like, as you're running down? Like, I feel like I would have like survivor's remorse a little bit, like, oh yeah, it's yo, hey, but let me get the Phil.
I think for me, I think there were teams that we felt genuinely were rooting for us, and I think there were teams that we felt weren't. And you kind of felt that a little bit, but you know.
I think luckily everyone's got a horse in the race sometimes, and sometimes you don't. But luckily we had kind of dominated this season in a sense in terms of winning, so I don't think that it was unwarranted where some teams were like, oh damn, like if Brian Erica would have won, I would have been pissed. Like you didn't win one leg, you guys fought the whole time. Like I wouldn't care. Megan's like tapping me, and I'm like, you know, I would have been pissed. You know, it's okay. No offense, Brooke, but I think
not taking. We won one, other than the last one. We got two.
Yeah.
It
felt like everyone was like okay with it, right? Not like what, like oh my gosh. And so it felt received well by everyone in general, which I appreciate. So I think when Meghan was saying some were rooting and some weren't, I just felt like everyone generally was supportive and happy. I didn't think of that as much, but more so like okay.
And no offense taken, honestly, because we all got along very well. Like behind the scenes, it was all good, and we didn't have one team. I mean, one team won 3 legs, but I think that was the most of any on my season. So it wasn't like there was one team that won like you guys, and then we snuck in there at the end, and we're like, "Hi, we'll take the last one."
So special. I mean, honestly, like I'm gonna just put in, you know, one vote for you guys doing Brooke's season for the next.
I keep telling Brooke that I want to do her season, but she refuses to allow me for us to rewatch it. I keep saying like, Brooke, we should do season 29, and she's like, no, we'll do 15. So I keep asking her like, I want to watch it, and I watched during when it was live, but I don't remember a lot of that time. So it's like I'm dying to see her season, and so they're telling us that we should do season 29 next, Brooke. And I mean,
I think so. Yeah, that starting line was just.
I just feel like I've shared so many of the stuff.
I know, but not really.
No.
You know. And
thank you, Meghan.
Start. I remember watching that start and being like, "Whoa!" And Brian Kleinschmidt on our team or on our season, he was saying that from the beginning. Like that was his thoughts. He's like, that should be a start. That should be a season. And I was like, I doubt they ever do that because it's about the relationships. But the fact, like, I loved that start. I thought that was such a good first episode, and I want to go back and watch it. So that's my note.
Talking about first episode,
it was so nerve-wracking because sorry. Oh,
no, go ahead, Brooke.
You go. Mine's not important. No. We'll talk about it when we cover season 29. It really doesn't matter. It was just super nerve-wracking because, like, you looked around and you saw, like, okay, I want to be paired with that person. I really don't want to get that person. I need somebody strong. I know what I'm good at. Like, I'm musical. I'm puzzles. I'm, like, the brains part of it. I'm a wet noodle in strength. Like, this is not for, I need somebody who has the strength part of it. And so there was talk of like, what if somebody picked you and you didn't want them? And like, we didn't know how it was going to work. Like, could you say no to being picked? But it just turned out if you got picked, you got picked. That was it. And I mean, as much as we fought, like Scott and I knew, like we knew we wanted each other as partners. And so thankfully it worked out in the long run. But
it's been such a different season by just those decisions. That was that's so interesting. And it worked out all in their own ways. Like I loved all the different teams, the dynamic of all the teams. That was so cool. Yeah,
I think they should do it again. It'll be great.
It's hard to duplicate that excitement, and they're trying new things that are not good ideas. So go back to the good ideas that work.
Yeah, well, historically, yours
all winners or something special.
Yeah, well, I mean,
okay. So just out of curiosity, because I do have this. I had like a little list of like rapid fire questions I wanted to ask you, but one of those rapid fire questions happens to be if there is an all winter season, like can we like just like I'm assuming like alliance, like good, yeah. Okay, cool, we're good. I'm good. Brice, you take over.
No,
I
I'm
worked
just
out
saying,
with
and I like Shane saying that because we already know how Shane play. I'm gonna work with you if it worked for me, but if not, we go ahead. Speaking of historic starts to the season, y'all season was a very interesting start. What are your thoughts on it then and like years later now? Like, what do you think about it? Because
what do you think? Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I mean, I loved it. Like, I kind of thought like it's a very interesting season, but I was telling Brooke that I feel like if there's a returnee season, I think that would be a very good one for like, let's start off hot. Somebody that has played before, you're not leaving the starting line. I think that that's like, let me be clear, as a viewer, I find
It's
it to be
cruel.
interesting. Now, if I were in it, maybe not so much, but during that time, what did you think when Phil said that?
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, I love it too. Like, it's maybe one of my favorite kind of twists. As a player, I think it was really scary for that to be the first challenge because you don't know how the challenges work and how you read a clue and how you execute it. Like, if it would have been like the third challenge that like there was something weird where, you know, you might just all drop in an instant, that'd be a lot different than the starting line because we hadn't been through the process of getting a clue, doing an activity, going to the next task. So it was like all unknown. And anybody could have left in that moment. I think there was a very good chance that it could have been us, which is devastating, right? Because we would have, you know, that we wouldn't have had the run that we had, and we were a capable team, but we could have very easily been that team to lose right there because it was just so new and fresh that we didn't know the process.
It's just kind of devastating. And so right before it starts, Brooke, you know, it's like they kind of do a couple practices. This is the only time they like practice something in the race. So at the very beginning, you're lined up there, and then they kind of say, okay, we're going to do a couple practices. Phil gives his spiel, and he's like, when I put my hand up and then down. So you do this whole thing. You practice it a couple times. So we did. We practiced it a couple times. But when he said, okay, this one's the real one, then he told us about the twist. So we were just like, what? And I think I just remember like,
we thought all of our hopes and dreams could be ended right then. Like, not even leaving LA.
Frightening.
Like, you know,
and at that point, you're already nervous anyway about just like everything. So it just took it to a whole new level. And we didn't even see that there was a challenge at the starting line. So like all the license plates were lined up like pretty far from us, but they were all covered in like canvas things.
We didn't know if it was a backdrop or a set. We
didn't think that was a challenge right there. So all of a sudden, when he actually did it the first time, then they took all the canvases off the license plates, and then it was like, oh my God, we're going. So it was like I wanted to throw up. It was
I would have thrown up. I think that's cruel. To saying what you were saying, Brice, where you think it's like, you know, if people return and like this, I'm fine with it if there's a challenge at the start line, and if you're last, there's some extra thing you have to do. It's whether it's a speed bump or whether you're delayed on the flight after or something where you, having run the race before, you should be able to make up a deficit. But to kick somebody off, I mean, I applied 8 times. Like to kick somebody off of like what is a lifelong dream for a lot of people, like just, you know, a bucket list item, and just be left in a ditch in LA and like a sewer ditch. Like horrible.
We never even really met Eric.
That's the only team from the show that we never
met them. So we were in before when we were being moved around. We sat next to them and we kind of heard them talking, and we felt their intensity. We're like, this team is going to be intense. But we never spoke a word to them because you can't talk before the race starts. And then the race started. They went
They're from LA.
They're from LA. So they started in the LA River. They're from LA. So they never even freaking left LA. Yeah. And they decided, They
got to Vegas, right?
No, they didn't go to Vegas.
They weren't at
the finish line? No, they were pissed. They were like, we're not going to go to sequester for a month. Like we had a vacation and so I think they went to India and they just went on a vacation and nobody ever met them.
Yeah.
But this day,
that was one of my favorite moments watching back the show was how graceful they were about losing them. Like we set everyone free, which I was like, wow, what a amazing way to look at it. And,
they did.
I mean,
they said that and we kind of laughed at it at first, like they set us free, you know, but at the same time, they totally did. Like they took the burden that nobody else had to take and they took it gracefully. So we all were kind of very thankful for them because we didn't all have to go through that, but we never talked to them.
I can't believe they didn't go to sequester and they weren't at the finish line. I think I just like, like Mandela effect. I think I just like saw them at the finish line, assuming they were there. I didn't even realize. Yeah. And I like to think I pay attention.
I remember thinking like, I want to meet them. And then we're like, oh, they're not even here.
And their intro riding on the bike, they look all cool. And
yeah.
Where was your sequester?
In LA at the
no, sequester.
Oh, sequester. I don't know.
I know you didn't go there, but they could have had a month-long trip or 20-day trip in like Thailand or wherever.
Beach in Vietnam, really pretty place.
Vietnam. May I never go back to Vietnam. Okay. Okay, so I have a little like rapid fire list of questions, like if you're up for it. Just like the first thing that comes to mind or whatever you've got. And we'll go. And if there's anything else you think of or it leads to a story, that's great too. So I just put down a list of questions like, what was your favorite task that you did throughout the course of your season?
For me, it was driving the race car in Dubai. It was really, really cool experience and like really high level, and it was a real race car. And Meghan was nervous about the whole time, and I was just excited. And for me, it was a really fun moment. For her, it was terrifying.
I had to explain that so many times to people. They're like, "Why were you crying?" Blah blah.
It's dangerous.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was just like all the emotions of the race. Like, you're not normal. And then, and we got there and we went through like a 30-minute presentation on like the safety of the track. And then they told us like, he could die and he could, his car could blow up, but we do have, they brought in like 2 ambulances that were parked next to the track and all this stuff. And I'm just like,
production issue was high anxiety. Great plan.
Yeah. I mean,
they were like, yes, Shane chose this. He gets to watch me
up like on the side. And I just was like kind of nervous, and he was driving it. Like it wasn't like in other seasons, where you're in the passenger seat or something. Like he was driving it and he was going, I don't know, how fast were you going? 120 or something? I don't know. But I mean, it was kind of scary.
Yeah, sounds
I feel your pain. Our finale had a racetrack thing too, and we had a half-hour briefing, and Scott wanted to drive, and I was like, okay, but I'm a fast driver, and he is not as fast a driver. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, it's stick shift, let me drive. And I had learned to drive stick, but I was like, fine, no time to fight. I'll change a tire, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were like, you could die, you've signed away your rights. And I was like, just go, like, because we didn't have this, loving, we're gonna end up married relationship. So I was like, it's fine, just you're gonna be okay, you don't need to listen to this, it's gonna be fine. But there were ambulances and there was a briefing, and it's real. He was driving and the danger is real. But Shane, you seem to be having so much fun doing it. Like the smile on your face, you're just joyful. And
then driven in a Maserati, and I remember like in the show, I was like, and we got driven in a Maserati. Yeah. And then Tiffany and Maria, when we watched that together, they were making fun of us because that's the exact car that Maria drove. That was
wow.
Maserati. She's like, whatever. Like,
you're like, I'm fancy.
I was like, it was so nice.
Did you have a favorite task?
Probably her least favorite task was the hay bales, and I just bring
God, yeah.
It was the ducks.
The duck.
Really? You would say that if there was one task that you wouldn't want to do again, it would.
We were out there for hours. Like, I don't know if like you really could tell how long it was, but it was so long, and we probably ran like 2 miles to get there along this road that you didn't even see. So I was tired when I got there, and then those hay bales, it had rained like the day before, and so those hay bales were so heavy. I could barely, like, I had to push my whole body against those. So they were just so big and so heavy, and I was like, how am I ever gonna find this thing? It was just daunting, and the freaking Globetrotters were getting in my head, and it was rough.
Everyone's always like, why didn't you do that? I was like, because we didn't know what it was going to be. It's like,
but also, I think that was the only leg, I think, where at least they showed any tension between the two of you. I think you guys had just had like your only tense moment right before the hay bales. And I remember Meghan being like, Shane, do you want to do this? And you just said nothing. And so she was like, fine, I'll do it. And then all of a sudden.
It said find a needle in a haystack. That sounds horrible.
Yeah. I mean, that
He's just like, I won't say anything.
Yeah.
That
It worked.
morning we woke, it was the only time we didn't have an alarm clock. And so we just had our watches that we would set time to wake up, right? Did you have an alarm clock? It would have been a nice thing. But I had
And
my
I
watch.
set with my watch for the week before, just sleeping with that watch on, being like, please work, please work. But yes, I just had a watch.
And we did, we always woke up. That morning we woke up like 10 minutes before we were supposed to be at the starting line. And it was like a panic. We're like, I think we just slept well that night. And so we woke up and we were frantic from the beginning. And so we went, and then we kind of got lost. And one of the things they didn't show is we were driving around. We had no idea where we were to get even to that place where the hay bales were.
Yeah.
We were driving around. We were in the middle of nowhere. We had no idea where we were. And so we just pulled over on the side of the road, and I stood in the middle of the road in farmland, like nothing around me. And I was literally stood in the middle because I was like, if one car drives by, like they're going to have to hit me to whatever. So this car stopped. This car comes out of nowhere, it stops. I run to the passenger seat and I'm like, do you know where this place is? And she's like, she was so sweet. She had a casserole on her lap and she's like, well, we're going to a party and I can explain where to get there. And so she started explaining it. I was like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what you're talking about. Everything was in, we were in Sweden. And so she goes, we'll go the opposite direction of our party and you can follow us there. So we're like, thank you. They drove like an hour in the opposite direction. She had a casserole on her left. Yeah. She drove all the way.
And saved our ass, yeah.
Yeah, sure. And so we followed them an hour and then to a point where she could tell us where to go. Then we got there, we ran about like a mile or two at least, just down a dirt road. Then we got to the hay bales. So it was just like it was a morning and it was.
That's not the day. That is not.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And it was, she conquered it. Like, sometimes those toughest moments are the ones you look back at and you're like, wow, that was like really, though maybe everyone couldn't see how hard it was, like something was really difficult.
Yeah. Somebody played my little trick on you with the flag.
Yeah. That was the best part of the whole thing. Where to the camera, Megan's like, should we play a little trick on Shane? You're like, Shane, I can't do it. I have to quit. And you're like, because I got it.
Yeah, but I don't know if you saw, when I got the clue and I was running towards, I fell into a ditch.
No.
I was like, I got it. And I just like ate shit and I fell in a hole. I was like, that just killed my whole vibe, but whatever.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So if you raced again, is there one team that you raced with that you'd be the most psyched to race with again?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, someone we've never raced with, or someone?
No, or someone from your season that you would love to race with again, or someone from another season, or you'd be like, oh, they're super cool. Let's race with them from what you know from TV.
Well, we're really, really close friends with Tiffany and Maria, Sam and Dan, and we have Erica, Brian, Tiffany and Maria, and Sam and Dan were all in our wedding.
Oh wow!
So yeah, so we all have matching tattoos. We're big happy family. So
what are they? Where are they? And can we see them?
Where are what?
Oh,
your tattoos.
Yours is.
Yes, mine's on my ankle. It's like it's Shinagawa. It's actually the symbol that was on the starting line.
Okay, put your foot up.
God, I don't know.
You don't have to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna make her.
No,
you're gonna see it. It's the.
I'm not putting my feet up there. I have to take my shoes off.
I'd have to take a shirt off. So I don't know if that'd be
I'll show you. But we have that symbol that was on the license plate. We all got that tattooed.
That's awesome. That's cute.
Dope. And and from our listeners and people that watch Amazing Race with us, as we've been watching this Amazing Race rewatch, even James Wellington, the winner, we need justice for Tiffany and Maria, right? Like they were so dynamic. I'm watching these first couple of episodes and I'm like, they're hilarious. And Brooke always tells me like people have played again. And I'm like, please tell me these amazing women have played again. And Brooke says that they've never brought them back. But Tiffany and Maria, they held down the first half of this show. Like they were hilarious, funny, dynamic. And like for them to be an all-woman team and just for them to be killing it. Like I really love them. So I love the fact that you guys are still close.
They're the best. Like they're just the best. There's so many people. I know you guys kind of bagged on Sam and Dan too, but
no, not you guys. Not both of us. I very much enjoyed watching Sam and Dan. They are like me and my brother would be. So direct your comments to Mr. Brice. I have good things to say.
I like Sam and Dan. I think they're fun. They definitely brought the intensity of this season. However, just rewatching it back, like I felt like my one gripe with them, and this is like a credit to you two, is that like I felt like their rivalry with Big Easy and Flight Time. For me, I'm like, damn it, Sam. It's Shane and Meghan. Like, they are the team that's killing it. So I felt like I was just confused as to why they was going at them so hard.
That's probably credit to Meghan.
Talk about the Globetrotters for like 2 seconds, because
we can talk about them as long as you would like.
I agree with you. Like I loved them. Like they were hilarious. They were characters. Like everywhere they would do basketball tricks in the airport to raise money. Like they were rolling in money.
Wow.
Like but everyone loves them. That's what they did. They could get crowds going. They're talkers, but they're also like gamers. They're
professional basketball players. We're the best trash talkers in any sport. So it was natural for them to get under people's skin, which I enjoyed that competitiveness, and it fueled me and Meghan because that's our background. But if you're not used to being an athlete, getting that shit talking, and you don't know how to handle it, I think it throws you off, and it makes you, question yourself or question, your competitiveness at their level. So what you saw
with Micah on the water slide, that's how they were the whole time.
Yes.
Like not just them, but
on camera, off camera, and everywhere.
And I love
really
them
fun.
still.
It was so fun to play with them. They'd be fun to race against in a competitive nature. Tiffany Murray would be fun to have as buddies along the way. And Sam and Dan as well. But
we would be running. I remember one time running and they were behind us. We had to run like a long way and they were behind us. And Flight was just in my ear the whole time. Meghan, you're gonna get tired. You can't do this. You're like the whole time. But for me, it like made me run faster.
Right.
And, I think Sam and Dan, like I think it affected them. Like it just.
But they also want to compete against them the same way. So it fueled them in a way that they kind of maybe were distracted by it. At the same time as motivated by it.
Yeah, they were.
Well, I could see how that could get to be a lot. Like for me, if they were like, Brooke, you can't do this. Like, no, don't tell me what I can't do. I'm the only one who can tell me what I can't do. Like that's all I said was I can't do things as I was doing them. But to have somebody else be like, you can't, I will show you that I can. So I think it would do to me what it did to you, which was fuel you. Unfortunately, to Micah, it did not have the same effect, but. Full disclosure, it's my favorite Amazing Race moment of all time. I find it hilarious. I'm sorry at Micah's expense. It is just, I think it's perfection in television. I just thought it was so wonderfully done. And just the way the day went that they happened to be last, like, because anyone who knows that the Amazing Race is 0% scripted. Like it is real reality TV. There are no do-overs. There are no retakes. They did a do-over of us running to the finish line after we had won. Like there is they will not say we can't hear you, we can't see you. If you outrun your cameraman, they will hop on the next boat. Like they just will not stop you. So the fact that it was so real, and that is what the Globetrotters showed up to, I just think is perfection. But I can see how if I were running with them, that could be difficult to deal with constantly.
Yeah, they were just funny though.
They were funny. That moment was crazy. Oh my gosh.
Micah?
Yeah, the Micah and Kanan moment. That was crazy. Kanan made a huge mistake there though by not pushing her down the slide. He should have went through with it and got her ass down the slide. Make it happen.
I don't disagree with you.
She was warming up though. I feel like it was his approach, because that when you see her sitting down and she's like splashing the water on her thighs, I'm like, okay, she's warming up. But the way that he is revving up, it isn't working. But that was crazy to watch. Like, wow.
Did you get to talk to them afterwards about that? Because you didn't see it in real time, about that experience. And were they still a couple at the time that you talked to them at the finish line?
They were.
They ended the season a couple, and they were a couple for a while longer. But I think that put a wedge. I think that was a tough moment for them for sure. They
downplayed how much of a non-swimmer she was. She tried to learn how to swim before the show, like a week. So she couldn't swim. until a week prior to going on the show. So, but they never shared that until that moment. They didn't have to really share that, so they downplayed that, which was smart.
She was wearing floaties and it was a slide, and Erica didn't even get her hair wet, so we don't have to worry about her swimming. I think
they told us like a week before the race, they went on a houseboat trip, and there was like a little slide off the houseboat, and he's like, there was no way Michael was going down there, and so the fact that they had like a water slide on the race, that was just, he's like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever, because she's not going to do it.
On that leg, right when we finished, the funniest thing happened in the hotel, because you're starving the whole show. Like maybe you're getting food or like scraps of whatever from wherever throughout your race time. And you get a couple meals that are given to you, but it's like, really, I don't know, they're really keeping you hungry. Other than Flight Time Big Easy, who we were convinced we're getting 2 meals every time, but we'll talk about that a different time. But so in Dubai, we got this amazing food tray with all these finger sandwiches brought in. And it was like the best food we had gotten in forever. And we're like, wow, but it just really smells like French fries around here. And like, maybe we're just imagining things that like smell so good. And then like we left the room, and the next day and everyone's talking about how good were those French fries. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like the French fries, we just had finger sandwiches. And they're like, no, underneath in the heating tray, there was huge plates of French fries and dips and shit. And we're like, no.
It was like those, you know, the rolly cart they bring into your hotel.
They like finally fed us. They finally fed us.
But on the lower rack, there was a huge plate of French fries, and we were smelling it in our room.
Our whole room smelled like French fries the whole time. We're just starving, and we ate all of our little tomato finger sandwiches.
Yeah.
But everyone jokes about that because that's real life on the race. It's like you're just starving.
Talk about the Atlantis French fries.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go back. Have you been back to any of the countries that you went to on the race?
We went back to Japan a couple times, and we actually went to the Shibuya crossing, and then I was like, get us to the shrine that we had to go to, where we had to lead all those people.
And I walked us right there.
And I was like, I have no idea where I'm going. I have no idea. And Shane, it was like quite a ways, and Shane found it, and I was impressed.
It was fun.
That was cool.
Can you name all the countries you went to?
Japan, Vietnam, Cambodia, Dubai, Amsterdam, Sweden, Estonia, Prague.
Okay, Shane. Now,
our season's like the only one that didn't have a memory challenge at the end, and I was so ready for it.
Yeah, she had these big diagrams and like flags and like populations and like, you know, just weird shit.
Meghan and I are kindred spirits. We had very much the same thing. I mean, I have my book back here, but like to the point where Scott and I were convinced that our memory challenge was going to be how well do you know your partner, because we were strangers at the beginning. So we actually came up with a plan, because there was a season a few before ours where one partner had to go into a room, answer a bunch of questions, and then the other partner had to go in and answer as if they were the first partner, and it led to like the code to a safe. So Scott and I were like, look, if the answer is a girl's name, it's Ashton. If it's a boy's name, it's this person. If it's a number, it's always 3. Don't care what the question is, it's 3. Like we were ready to game the system. And so the memory, look, not fast, not strong, but I know the game. And then it was just a really easy, what place did you come in on every leg of the race? And I walked up there and I was like 4, 6, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1, 1. Like things you'll never, like the way you know the countries. These are things we'll never forget. They just.
But being prepared, you and Meghan, being prepared in that manner, you know, you need to kind of, you both have that similar personality where you need to know what's going on and what's going to happen in general. But it allows your brain to be ready for those moments and to execute tasks and not be worried about the things you already considered. So I think that kind of preparation maybe doesn't work for everyone like me in a sense, but it makes you a good competitor on the show because you're thinking probably a little more forwardly than other teams or whatever who are probably just trying to get their backpacks together. You know, so I think kudos to your style and the balance that you can find of like, you know, the right partners. So it's pretty cool that you found that partner randomly then, and you were able to execute. But for us, you know, yeah, that's pretty.
And I am stronger now than I was. So when we do a line in an all-winter season, I'm not going to hold you guys back. I swear.
Good.
Do you
don't have to campaign. We're good.
Do you still keep up with the seasons?
We try. Like last season, we weren't as on it as we usually are. But
we've seen every season. We used to watch front to back every single season. We've seen bits of now every season, but not full seasons of all of them. But you know, after we had kids, it just wasn't as much a priority. But you know, for 20, 25 seasons, 30 seasons, we watched all of them. You know?
Have they seen your season?
We started to show it, so it was really cute. They were cheering at the TV, they were fans
for
of
you guys, or was there another team that they were like really into?
Meghan and Shane, not for mom and dad, cheering for Meghan and Shane. Yeah.
They haven't seen the whole thing. But
Just a few episodes we show them right now.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny.
yeah,
With
you guys are weird looking.
season
Kids are
39. Season 39 is getting ready to air, and with a historic 40 season 40 coming up, if CBS were to call you and say, "Hey, Meghan and Shane, you trying to spin the block? Would you guys play again?"
Yeah, we're turning 40. Like this is the season for us. Let's go.
And they couldn't have a winners edition without us. It would be like having the NFL All-Stars game. Like they've had all these Amazing Race All-Stars. It's like the NFL game. None of the best players are there. So what are we really watching?
It's the humbleness for me. It really is.
Shane was the cocky, confident one of the team. If you haven't noticed,
I worked.
It was.
It works. That's all that matters. Is there anyone during the race that you helped that you wish that you hadn't, or that you didn't help that you were? I mean, you won, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But like any team that like there was a moment where you're like, oh, we should have done that differently.
I think you guys kind of figured it out too, but I think Meghan's strategy was to play that field more, and without the balance of her pulling me back, I probably would have been kicking, rubbing people the wrong way individually, but she helped that balance. Though I don't think Flight Time and Big E's or anybody.
I don't think we really helped anybody.
We didn't really help anybody too much where I thought it was an issue, but she was willing more to make that. And if it wasn't for her, I think that was the good move in the whole gameplay, the full arc, right? Because you need that long term, or people want to keep you around or not U-turn you. So I think we didn't push anyone the wrong way without helping. But we did run together when we were able to, and it was kind of fun in those moments. Brooke, you can, when you can run together and it's not hurting your game, it's fun to travel a little bit together and have downtime together in the airports. And those times were really enjoyable too. Even if it's not answering the question, those downtimes were really cool.
It's great. I am curious about this. If you had gotten to the water slide and Meg and Micah and Kanan were there and you were last at this moment, if you were the Globetrotters, how do you think you would have handled that particular moment?
Probably I probably would have been similar to the Globetrotters, and Meghan would have been pulling my shirt and yelling at me for doing so. I
don't know. I mean, I'm not really one to bully a woman, so I don't really know. I'm not going to be like, Micah, don't go down. But what do you do? I think you just, if anything, I probably would have been like, Kanan, don't push her to go. She doesn't have to go. She's scared. Give her a minute and let the time run out or something,
Right. I feel like I could see Meghan be like, okay, Micah, let's talk about why you're feeling the way that you're feeling and just run the clock. Just get her to sit there and not go, but in a kind way.
Yeah.
And just in the back of your head be like, 12 more seconds. So say again why you're so concerned about this, and then hop down when it's your turn.
You have to be kind of concerned about the U-turn, not at that point necessarily, but it's always on your mind. We had a U-turn in our season. It didn't air, but because the team U-turned a team that was already behind them. So they just didn't even show it. But you're always kind of worried about that. And I thought for us, we were going to be a very big target for the U-turn, just being in the front often. So if anyone happened to get a leg on us at any moment, I was a little worried about that. But,
well, that's a very fair worry. Yeah, seriously, super fair worry. I had another question and just escaped my head. Brice, you go. I have to think about it.
So I guess my last question that I have for you too is that going into this already in a relationship, and I'm assuming the answer is yes because you are married, have a beautiful family. After winning and going through this, did it just reaffirm your love for each other and that you two are just meant to be together? Because it was just so beautiful to watch the yin and yang of you two throughout it, but still supporting each other and killing it. So would you say it made you stronger?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a really good test of a relationship. So when you go into it with any pre-existing relationship, it really is testing it in kind of all the ways. And I think we didn't even realize how strong we were as a team till almost watching it back. Oh wow, we really were, we thought we were that way, but you never know what's going to come out on the other end. And we knew it wasn't anything bad, but it really shows how you work and your dynamic. And I think, you know, Meghan and I have known each other since elementary school, which really was our kind of our little history and story. And we live 5 blocks from the high school we went to together. And so I think we had a great foundation as a friendship, and then as a, you know, romantic relationship in college. And then we did this right when we graduated college. So it was like, so, you know, our growth together was really unique doing the race after being through our lives together. So absolutely, Brice, and thanks for, you know, saying those kind words. But yeah, she's the best. We're meant to be, and we're lucky to have done this. And this is like a part of our history as a couple, and, you know, something that we cherish for sure as fans and as, you know, players of the game, and yeah, just being a part of the community. And, you know, you guys are keeping us in the community as much as anything, and just, I don't know, we just love the experience.
I have one more. Is there anything that, you know, like we didn't ask, were there any like behind the scenes moments, anything in watching the show back where you're like, oh, this is different than I would have expected, or just any stories from behind the scenes that you'd be willing to share with the people who are listening?
Gosh, so many, but.
Oh, this funny moment of, you were talking about how we were kind of friendly, you know, flying from London to Vegas. We chilled there for like maybe 12 or 14 hours. It was like a really weird layover in that time. So we were all like sleeping in random spots. Yeah, the finale. So this is us, Sam and Dan and Brian and Erica. And so we're ending up sleeping, like, you know, this is back in the day, so it's probably more normal. Like sleeping on the airport benches, but like we were kind of like grouped together because it was kind of weird. Like we're in a weird country, a lot of foreigners. We woke up and Dan or Sam, I don't remember which one, is like, where is my bandana that I've been wearing around the country for a month? My one bandana, like my team bandana, like couldn't run without it, like his little baby doll, you know? And we're all like, I don't know. Like, he's like, we're all sleeping. What the heck? And we start walking around the airport, and there's this random guy laying on a bench, like 50 feet away with the bandana around his head. And we're like, we cannot figure out, did he just swipe it off his head and put it on? He's been sweating in this, washing it in sinks across the world. It's like his, you know, his memento from the race. So and we're like, we all like had to like do this detective work and found this random guy sleeping.
Did he get it back?
Oh yeah, he took it right.
That's my bandana.
Yeah, he's like, how'd you get this? And the guy's like, what? It was so weird.
I was gonna say, if he didn't get it back, maybe that's what he blames losing the race on, because he didn't have his little good luck bandana.
I was dying listening to you guys and Lance, because oh my gosh, Lance was such a character.
Lance. If they would have made it longer, you would have heard Lance more than Brian. Oh, yeah. And Shane.
Yeah. But he was a character. We didn't ever get to know him that well. We were just like, this guy is nuts. But everybody that was like hung out with him in sequester, like they said he was really great. But one of my favorite things, one of the craziest stories is, and I don't know if they fully showed this, they showed part of it, but at the starting line, when we're all standing there, Carrie doesn't have shoes. She has flip-flops on at the starting line of the race, and they were taped to her feet. So she forgot her shoes on the race. And so I guess what happened is she got off the plane and she's like, Lance, I don't have my shoes. And he's like, what? You know, of course, you can only imagine what Lance would be saying.
Because you bring like flip-flops and then shoes that you'll run around the world in. So she didn't bring the shoes.
Lance tells production before the race starts, before they get to the hotel, and he's like, we need to go stop and get her shoes. She didn't bring shoes. And they're like, yeah, we'll get you shoes. And they take her to the hotel, and then they keep asking, like, when are we going to go buy shoes? And they're like, you can't leave. You can't get shoes. And so she started the race with like little sandals, like little like shower sandals that were taped to her feet. Lance was so pissed at her. He was so mad. And she ended up running through the airport somewhere and found this little girl. I think she was in Vietnam or something. She gave her she wore the same size shoes as her, and she gave her shoes. So she wore that little girl's shoes the rest of the race.
Oh my God.
But like, how crazy is that?
She left for the race with just flip-flops.
Oh my God. Now we know why Lance was so pissed. Now it all makes sense.
It had something to do with it, I think. But we're like, this guy looks like he's gonna kill his wife. But
and you don't get money. Like, I'm glad she found some girl who wore the same size shoes, going up to girls and be like, what size are your shoes? Can I have your shoes? Because otherwise you're gonna use leg money. Like, what are you gonna do to buy shoes?
A glimpse of her getting shoes from a girl, but I don't think you realized she didn't have shoes.
Right.
Oh, I'm going back and looking at the start line.
Yeah, I
and
was trying to
watching all
find
of
a
this. I'm
photo. Like, wow,
so
and she really had
curious.
flip-flops.
Flip-flops taped to her feet. I love that they had the forethought to tape them, so it was like kind of like shoes.
And
That's
we didn't
hilarious.
know what's happening. We're like, what is that? Why does she have that?
Like, what does she know that I don't know?
Right.
Is it like easier to run it? Like, are they like leaps and bounds ahead? That's wild. And I will say, Brice, I did hear that the hay bale challenge was potentially an elimination challenge, and that the one where Tiffany and Maria were
eliminated.
Was maybe not supposed to be an elimination.
That was the rumor. So like the rumor was that that was going to be a non-elimination leg in the Netherlands, but because they couldn't complete the challenge, they had to make that an elimination I think that the initial idea was that they wanted that switchback to be authentic to the original one and have it an elimination also. So
that's wild to me. How hard was the golf? Was the golf that physically demanding?
Yeah, we realized like in Meghan's very athletic and capable, like very strong, but we realized I had to hit it first to get even enough distance for us to make each of the holes, like, and really get a hold of it because it was so windy and the ball was very light. So it was like it was very difficult. We
had to jump into that freezing cold river. It was freezing. We were in freezing cold, like pajama things. And then the wind was just getting crazier and crazier. And so it was absolutely freezing, but you had to hit that so hard. It was so hard to get a good hit on that. It just it was not easy. Yeah.
The one we made, I got one really good hit and then Meghan got a nice one. It was the only way we could make it. And then even hitting the bell physically,
apparently
would have been
hard.
Very difficult as well. So it was really, really tough.
They legitimately did not have the strength to finish either of those. I don't think they realized the golf was going to be as physically difficult.
If it wasn't windy, it would have been doable. They probably tried it out when it wasn't windy, but the wind was just
So my last question, if for anyone watching, because a lot of people who watch are like super fans of the show and they want to go on and they want to go do what we've gotten lucky enough to do. Do you have any advice or any tips or pointers for anybody who's trying out for the Amazing Race? Should they be lucky enough to make it on? What's advice from champions Meghan and Cheyne?
You can't be something you're not. So you can't try to run the race and be a character or somebody while running the race. If you want to do well, you've got to just be who you are and dive into the challenges as a team, not as competing against everybody else. It's really about your execution of your reading and your tasks. So really just focus on yourself and your teamwork. So prepping as a team together.
Unless you're on season 29 that you've had prior prep.
So there's our advice, and you can get Brooke's winter advice.
That was a huge thing for us. Yeah. Like before we were like, we're going to do this. If this happens, we're going to do this. And you guys didn't have that. So that's a whole nother game.
We did that in the first airport. Cause I know for me, heights, I don't care. He's terrified of heights. It was I like really spicy food. But so if it was eating something weird or hot or whatnot, it was gonna be me. If it was eating a lot, it was gonna be him. If it, we had to have those conversations that I'm sure everyone who knows each other has beforehand. If it's this, it's me. If it's that, it's you. We had to do that very much on the fly. And then that all went out the window and he ended up doing every heights challenge. And it just all went to shit, but that's okay. Cause
I would love to come back when we're reviewing your seasons. I want to watch it.
You can come back anytime. Are you kidding?
You've heard it for Brooke. You've heard it first. So
I think it's gonna happen. Yeah.
We need to. If Meghan and Cheyne are saying we need to watch season 29, Brooke, are you hearing them?
I hear you.
Are you friends with people from your season?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can bring people back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I could definitely bring people back. And I could probably, for the most part, I think I could bring back everyone who was eliminated from each episode and we could sort of do it that way. But it's something we could talk about. Yeah. We could talk about it.
Do it.
I will say after I watched your finale, did I go back and watch mine because I had that feeling when you guys crossed the finish line of just chills and tingles. And I was like, I got an extra 45 minutes. I'll just watch mine again, which I hadn't seen in a while. And I was just bawling. And my husband came into the office are you okay? And I was like, I'm so good. So stupid.
Yeah. And Brice, you were on an iconic season too. So do you review those?
I haven't actually. No, I've never actually reviewed my season, so that's actually okay.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
We'll have to give you a call to reviews. Season
Meghan now
28,
produces
Meghan.
this podcast. I love this.
Yes,
She's
I
in
love
charge
it.
of everything we do from now on.
I'm here.
Balder, are you kidding? And my best friend lives in San Diego, so next time I'm out there, I'll have to come
Yes.
say hello. And first round's on me. And next time you're in New York, first round's still on me. So come
this
say hi.
has been an amazing
Oh, no,
roller coaster ride. I can't believe we are coming to the end, but we are truly so grateful, Meghan and Cheyne, to bless us, grace us with your presence. It's truly an honor. And we thank everyone that has been watching and listening this whole summer rewatch of Amazing Race.
Wait, you do this every time, so I just need a second. So thank you to Meghan and Cheyne. You two are a joy. You are wonderful, and I really, really appreciate you coming. And I just want to take a second and thank, as always, Brice for being just the sunshine of everything. You're smart, you're funny, you're handsome, you're wonderful, you're talented, and honestly, you spend so much time building other people up. And I just want to take a moment to just talk about the fact that you are the hardest working person I know, between day job, other job, this job, that job, and podcasting about everything and editing everything. You do it all, and I am honored to call myself your friend. So thank you, as always, for doing this. You're never getting rid of me, even though we've already talked about the next rewatch, and it's not me pushing it.
It's you, the brains, and the brown, right?
Yeah, you know it, Meghan. It's funny because before the season started, as we're preparing, I went in blind, so I didn't want to know anything. And Brooke's always like, "I'm not going to tell you." So while we were preparing for episode 4, a picture of Brian and Erica came up, and I was like, "F, I think I just got spoiled." And I told Brooke, I'm like, I think I just got spoiled, but don't tell me. And then Brooke's like, oh, I'm so mad that happened. And so as we're preparing for you guys to come on, Brooke's like, I can't get the winners of this season, but I reached out to Meghan, and Meghan and Cheyne are going to come on. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, and so it's just so crazy, me thinking that I've been spoiled and watching you two this whole season. I'm just like, well, damn, they killing it. Like, I don't know how Brian and Erica going to finish this out. So it was such an amazing surprise.
I think what I said was that since you knew that Brian and Erica got divorced, I was like, and he thought Brian and Erica won. And I was like, well, so I spoke with Meghan and Cheyne. They're going to come on. I just told him recently, too, because he didn't know for a while. I just called special surprise guest. And he's like, okay, so I get it. Brian and Erica aren't going to come on together. They're divorced, whatever. But, like, Meghan and Cheyne are doing great. Like, they'll probably make it to the finale. I definitely didn't say I couldn't get the winners because I wouldn't lie to you. But I knew from the beginning, before we picked this season, I actually reached out to Meghan and Cheyne. I was like, if we're to do this, is there any chance? And Meghan, thank you, because so quickly she was like, yes, I'm excited. Let's relive the glory. Like, you two are just so kind and wonderful. So thank you so much. And I'm sure all of the listeners and watchers are going to appreciate this, because it's rare that we get to have a winning team from back in the day. And you guys are just so loved. And I cannot wait to work with you when we go get to do this together.
Yes, and we'll see you on our screen soon.
Come back too if you want him. He's a hardcore race guy. Yeah. Ryan, if you ever want him, he's awesome.
Let's do it.
Yeah, HGTV too. Yes. But sadly, this is the end of our summer rewatch of Amazing Race 15. We appreciate everyone for watching. Brooke and I will be back in a couple of weeks giving our
Meghan probably.
And Meghan. Hopefully we'll get Meghan on the season. Yes. But we will be back in a couple of weeks giving our first take at the cast of season 39. This has been so special. And we'll see you next summer.
Bye.
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 It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You better listen in public, might make your stomach hurt. Ooh. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to unwind, you better get that box wine. It's the Purple Pants Podcast. You're trying to get your snack, you better hurry right back though. It's the Purple Pants. It's the Purple Pants.